And we're back for game 2. It's going to be Refuge Slayer. And if it's anything like the first one, Wonder Boy, we're in for a tasty one.
Yeah, hopefully it will be a bit less of a PowerPoint presentation and a bit more of an Excel spreadsheet movie maker, something like that. I don't know. There's a pun in there somewhere. Yeah. It's still a little bit early for me. This one, I feel for Mockit here because it's almost a very similar tale of what was happening in their scrims earlier on today. And then this morning, before the tournament, they were warming up against Power here, and they just seem to struggle to get power weapons and put them into use. We saw it in the power weapon kills column before we restarted the stream. 4 extra kills. Most of that will be thanks to Jimbo and Kimbo, chiming in with snipes here and there. But we need to see players from Mockit start to do that. And Refuge Slayer is a map that, Richie, you just cannot go without power weapon kills on. You can't expect to win without power weapons on this map. There's 2 snipers and rockets. There's so many weapons constantly in rotation in the economy on the map, and if you can't convert them into kills, you're not going to have a chance. So for me, that's what I want to see out of Mockit this next map, Slayer, obviously, to tie up the series 1-1. It's a big one. So you need to make sure you're hitting your shots here, and you need to make sure you're shutting down players like Kimbo, players like Mose, who are happy to play for the Rockets and play aggressively. Because they've proven in the past that tournaments, LAN tournaments, live events, online tournaments, doesn't matter what it is, they're going to grab the Rockets and they're going to make you pay. So hopefully Mockit can counter that. But after what we've seen in game 1, I'm not sure.
Interestingly enough, on the Coliseum flag game, it was Mockit who were actually in the ascendancy the early game. And when they pulled the flag and it looked at everything was going rosy, it was actually then the flag was stopped and they actually lost 2 caps in quick succession. So if early indications are anything to tell by, the early doors, the game was going in favor of Mockit. And if they can get the early kills here and the early slays, just keep themselves ahead, like you say, utilizing those sniper rifles, utilizing them rocket launchers, maybe just patrolling and playing security almost inside the ring with the rocket launcher just to lock it down. But this map normally goes quick and it goes fast.
It does. Well done there by Looney, actually, to scoop the rockets and get away cleanly. He's now bodying up with Batchford as well. So a good early start here from Mockit. This is what we wanted to see out of them. Get those weapons and keep them safe. Yes, they are trying to fight for ring control currently, and Kimbo picks up a double on Snipe Drone's screen. But the most important thing is they still have the sniper in Batchford's hands, although they've turned the rockets over to Kimbo. Oh, looks like Snipe Drone's going to find Batchford here, and that's all the weapons now in the favour of Power. Nightmare start for Mockit, and I've just looked at the score, Richie. They're down 7-2.
Remember when I said they just need to get those early slays and keep themselves ahead? It hasn't gone according to plan. They haven't followed my script anyway, and as you see time and time again, whether you're playing Refuge, Sanctuary, any of the iterations of the map, you can get caught out on the rocks, spawning back up again. Jimbo putting some shots down with that tac mag. Of course, has that extended sight line if you haven't used the scope as he pushes up the main ramp now, looking to clean up these kills, which Snipe Drone takes down 1. Warlord, or Looney, is all alone. He is also taken down by Snipe Drone. It's 13-3, and momentum is well and truly in Power's favour as Jimbo finds himself a sniper rifle in ring.
Yeah, when you're Mockit at this point, I mean, you're down by 11 points. The most important thing to do here is to try and body up, but a team like Power, who have played in tournaments, are so experienced, they know to keep it frantic and keep pushing the pace to prevent you from bodying up and getting into places where you can fight as a team. And you can see it from Snipe Drone's point of view here. He's just keeping this sniper nice and safe. He's keeping it out of the reach of Mockit, because that's their route back into this game, is team fighting and the power weapons. The only sniper on the map right now is in this man's hands, and with rockets coming up, he can just sit back and bait his team, while Mockit, they have to move, they have to try and get to ring. Snipe Drone takes down Warlord nice and easy, and guess where the rockets have gone, Richie? Right over to Kimbo.
Kimbo has rockets. He was able to get himself a double kill when he had them early doors, and all power weapons in the hands of Power once again. 23 kills to 10, and they've done a great job of keeping this Mockit squad on staggered spawns, and they haven't really been able to get themselves going. Snipe Drone has a player behind them. Warlord doesn't see him, but Snipe Drone turns around and gives him the backhand, gives him the slaps. As he opens up, he gives him the 5-finger palm. 24 kills to 12, double the scoreline at the moment. Jimbo gets a kill with a nade, and there's Snipe Drone, takes back down to no shields, gets the clean up with the Magnum. And it's looking already, this early stages, as though it's going to go over the Ward's power.
Yeah, and again, Richie, this isn't one of those situations where you can expect to fight and trade if you're Mockit. You have to start getting big pluses in your favor to overturn the early deficit. A sniper is a good way to do that. Kimbo is obviously well aware of that fact, so he and Snipe Drone are going to work together to secure this one. Across the map, well, Jimbo's managed to grab that sniper as well, so momentarily both snipers in Power's hands. Mockit do a good job of taking down Jimbo, and now Batchford across the map from Kimbo has a sniper to play with himself. But look at the score, it's 32-15. While Mockit were concerning themselves with the power weapons, Power decided to put the boot to the floor, put their foot down, and well, stamp their authority on this game.
Great job out of Jimbo to keep those two players occupied in hope, meant this team could push forward, and of course Jimbo was calling out them players like a little UAV, two players in the hut, I need help. And you can see Snipes and his teammate came through with the help then as well. They're just doing a fantastic job. Kimbo gives them the slaps, but then also finishes them off with a no-scope headshot as well. So if you need any more disrespect than that, it's just get off me, kid. Kimbo laying down the law here at the moment, putting on a clinic at the moment.
Oh, Kimbo, stop it. It's just insult to injury. It really is. I mean, to no-scope a man with a headshot after you've already taken him down to no shields is just real disrespect. Kimbo's even killing his teammates here. That's how on point he is. At this point in the match, it shouldn't matter too much, but it's been one-way traffic all game long, and, well, I hate to see the power weapon kills column at the end of this game. You can be critical of Mockit if you like Richie, and by all means they should have done better with the power weapons that they were able to acquire, but I think we're maybe underselling the pressure from Power, not only on players who had power weapons for Mockit, but also when the power weapons were coming up. They were happy to fight in and around both huts, and Snipe Drone and Jimbo should be able to combine here to take out both Mockit players on this side of the map. And yeah, it's a formality now. We're counting down to 50. It's just about how many kills Mockit are going to be able to scrape away.
Yeah, Power just applying way too much pressure and keeping the Mockit players like a deer in the headlights, just frantic, scrambling, not really able to get anything going, not able to link up with any of the teammates. And is there a way that we can actually nerf Kimbo, because he's just a killing machine? He's too OP. Is there a way we can maybe take him down a couple of points, a couple of notches? Maybe we put a rule in place where we lower his sensitivity, where he gets to play on one sensitivity, because the man is just going off. And there we go. That's a steak dinner. And how do you like it? Is it medium rare?
Oh, I do like it medium rare. I do. But for Mockit, it's more of the same woes. You can see Snipe Drone just being as sneaky as you like, with just 3 deaths for the entire match. But again, you can focus on Squashy 2 and 13, 6 and 14 for Looney. You can see all these stats, but for me, the only stats that matter and the stats that tell the story are the power weapon kills column again. Fully lopsided. 7 for Kimbo, 4 for Snipe Drone. Just the 1 for Looney. It tells the entire tale of the map. And for Mockit, they need to go back to the drawing board, because that's 2 maps in a row now. They are still in this series, but that's 2 maps in a row now, Richie, where they have struggled to get control of the map because they couldn't put the power weapons they grabbed into any use.
It's a game to forget there for Squashy. He's gone 2 kills and 13 deaths, and in a Slayer, that's definitely not the sort of numbers you want to be putting up. You want to be trying to have a little bit more influence on the game. But having said that, a lot of the Mockit roster, it didn't go according to plan. Batchford put up somewhat of a decent fight, but it was just all pressure all the time. And Refuge just can't be like that. It's a bit snowbally. Once you lose the initial gunfights, it can be very hard if the team gets 2 sniper rifles and the rocket launcher, and you're fighting right off the back in your spawn. And just like that, many deaths falling for the side of Mockit. But at the moment, we'll be going into Plaza on strongholds, and this will be a good game type for Mockit, and they need to bounce back, right now, Wonderboy.
Yeah, not too many power weapons to think about on this one, just pure teamwork and rotations. Obviously, they have camouflage top middle that they need to contend with. They have a shotgun as well that we've seen Mo's in the past throughout pro leagues, years gone by now. He's a real menace. He can lock down one area of the map with that weapon and stay alive for a very long time, which could cause Mockit some headaches here. So a fast start from Mockit is definitely going to be needed. But again, you know, it's so demoralizing when you've identified the mistakes that you've made previously in the day, and then it comes tournament time and the mistakes are still there. Yes, you're never going to overturn them in a single day. But at the same time, you know, it's tricky to try and overturn, you know, mistakes that you know are happening, but you can't quite fix. And when you're 2-0 down in a series against Jimbo, Kimbo, Mose, and Snipe Drone, you're probably thinking there's no way back at this point.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for Mockit. Like you say, they know the problems that they're having, but it's about finding the solution, about working out that puzzle. What is the way to fix it? Who needs to do this and who needs to do that? Who needs to be the one to maybe take the power weapons as a priority? Really emphasize it when they're coming up, because when we were casting it on Coliseum, you knew exactly when those weapons were coming up, but it didn't seem like Mockit did. The players, they were nowhere to be seen, and Power were picking them up almost uncontested most of the time. But like you say, no power weapons really to contend with here. With that shotgun, maybe expect people to be sitting around Yellow Yard, patrolling it, keeping that yard on lock. And we sometimes see the shotgun down in bottom middle as well, clearing house. But here we go. It's going to be game 3. And will we see a similar story? Will be 3-0, or can Mockit bounce back now? As we're on board with Looney right off the rip as he goes for that camouflage. Can he secure it? He's no thrust. He just ran out. A little nudge off that ledge meant he had no momentum to get that camouflage. Fortunately for him, he's able to secure it. That is camo in the hands of Mockit, and a kill. That's 2 for 2 trades at the moment, as we have one member of Mockit over towards Yard, capturing that off the respawn, and Jimbo's just doing a great job delaying and killing the camouflage player. That's not what you want to see.
No, why are you taking 1v1s with camo? You're the most important player on the map right there. Why are you taking a 1 versus 1 against Jimbo, who himself is feeling like the star of this team, which already has, you know, so many stars on it? Why are you taking 1v1s? Buddy up at that point. Bait your team. That's your job as the camo player. I know you want the bottom middle stronghold, buddy, but you need to stay alive there. Your life is so much more valuable than that 1 versus 1 win.
Yeah, life is 100% more valuable. You could have been a lot more influential on the map, but unfortunately you were shut down by Jimbo, who won that 1 versus 1, that gunfight. And it's a great job out of Jimbo, but at the same time it is a misplay from Looney. He can maybe just stay in the hill and wait for a little bit of help, or maybe even just give it up, because you know you're not going to get it. There's 2 players already down there, so your life is already at risk, at jeopardy if they spot you out. So maybe give it up and keep the camouflage lead, live the fight another day. But at the moment, capture in Yard, gunfight's going down. Mose jumps towards Yellow Ledge, getting shot in the back down. With information does come through, and Warlord takes down Mose.
Tell you what, a really important win there from Batchford. I thought the play had completely gone when he didn't contest the Yard stronghold in time, but the perfect onto Snipe Drone allows the final tick to come in. Keeps them in control. It's a big fight for Nest. It's almost ticked over in Mockit's favour, but well, unfortunately they will go down. Jimbo, meanwhile, all that was happening, he's been capturing bottom middle, but this is a good run here from Mockit as Camouflage is coming up. They currently have 35 points to Power's 0. So despite all the micro plays that you might criticize for Mockit, as a team, as a unit, currently they're playing very well. They need to see someone up on top middle to grab the camouflage. Snipe Drone off screen was taken down, who just grabbed that, so no camouflage in play this time around. Mose has taken down Batchford. That, by the way, off screen was for a triple for Mose, so that's the type of play that Mose can bring to a team when you're 41 points to nothing down. To turn the tide on the map, Mose can do that kind of play any day of the week.
Mo seemed to be fighting the world there for a moment, and almost winning as well, as he got himself a triple kill and a triple cap momentarily in favour of Power. So they're ticking up the points now and they're rolling. This is where you need to see Mockit. What are they made of? Can they maintain this early start dominance that they had? Can they keep the pressure on them? It looks as though Jimbo has taken down a player, and it could be very, very quickly getting out of Mockit's hand. They need to bounce back here and stop the bleeding. Kimbo's in blue. Shots go down. Looney gets a huge melee, and they need to get this Yard in control and quickly, and then move together as a unit towards bottom middle. Big fight goes down. It looks as though Mockit are winning it momentarily, as the players will come back off the respawn and be ready to fight again.
Yeah, not too sure why we saw committals on both sides there. If I was Mockit after you lose the first 2 kills from the team fight over at Nest, why not just back down, keep those spawns? Warlord here on a double, could maybe find a third with Jimbo on driveway, but That's good kills coming for Mockit. Then was questioning the contest from Jimbo. I mean, he didn't have that many players up on the map. Why not just back off of yard, stop them pushing out? That kill on Jimbo actually allowed the Mockit boys to push out, get control once more. They have yard and bottom middle for now, at least. They are 3 down, and Mose is trying to capture it back. But yeah, some confusing plays on both sides. Snipe Drone grabbed the last camo, Richie, which should be coming up fairly shortly. So we'll have to see if Power or Mockit is the team to grab the next power-up. Looks like Looney's in position here for Mockit.
Yeah, you have to say Jimbo's desperation on that yard hill was really not necessary. The game was still early doors, and he could have just given that up and maintained those 2 strongholds that they had and waited for his teammate to come off the rip, and instead decided to fight 2-3 Mockit players and lost his life, which then gave them an much easier task to get down to the bottom middle. But now they have spun it around again. They have 2 strongholds in their favour. As Mockit Looney, it's a few shots onto Kimbo off screen, and Squashy drives towards this light rifle. Where's he gonna go? Opting to go bottom middle with his teammates. That's a big kill from Looney, but they're still down. Mose answers back with 2 kills of his own. It's thick and thin at the moment. It's back and forth, neck and neck at the moment. The scoreline reflects that as well, as it's 51-48, but all the while Power are taking up points.
Yeah, problem with Warlord here solo capping this is that his team aren't really in a position to support. As I say that, looks like Power are content with flipping the map, just grabbing the yard. And it's something that Jimbo, Mose, Kimbo on previous lineups like Fabi, like Infused used to do so often here on Plaza. Allow you to get that nest, give you a false sense of security, and then, you know, when you grab that stronghold, they know exactly where you're spawning. They're able to push you out, slay you, and you can see Batchford and the rest of the Mockit boys here now trapped in yard and have to choose which way they want to exit, and they need to make sure they get kills while they do that. They do not do so. Mose and Jimbo killing 2. That's going to allow Snipe Drone to come in, grab the yard. Yes, Mockit are contesting nest, but it's total control momentarily, and suddenly the panic starts to set in here now for Mockit.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall. Will this be the end of their tournament? They've had a decent run up until this point, but Power just look like they have all the answers, and it can be so frustrating when you finally get to convert one hill only to see the hill you've already had being turned over, and you're just in this constant respawn, go for one hill, die, respawn, go for another hill and die. And even though you're getting that cap, they're always 2-1 in favor. As Mose was a little melee off screen, almost in victory. Is he calling it too soon? We don't know, but at the moment Jimbo's down bottom middle, just buying his time, waiting for his teammates, staying alive in bottom hill, making sure that they can't turn it over in their favor, and they just keep on ticking points all the while. It's big. Warlord and Co need something big. They need to pull a rabbit out of a hat here.
Off screen, Kimbo grabbed the last camouflage. He was taken down, so no camouflage in play once more. Kimbo actually as well, as we've seen previously at the start of the game from Looney, taking a really unnecessary 1 versus 1 fight. Maybe a little bit out of practice, some of these players, maybe just feeling their confidence and shot a bit too much. But this should be, and I say should, a very easy win now from here on out for Power. Really dominant. Players like Mose, Jimbo, Kimbo, as I said previously, are experts at this game type. And Mockit, they put up a good fight. They had a really good stand at the start of the match, but it's that mid to late game presence from Power, the experience shining through. And they will win the series, Richie, 3-0.
3-0, and although Mockit looked good in parts, there's definitely some improvements to their game that they need to look upon. We talked about the power weapons, and they're just a little bit frantic in the mid game when a little bit pressure is put on them. They don't seem to have the answers of where they need to go and what they need to do to break it. Maybe they need an in-game leader to straighten the picture, to tell them exactly what needs to happen off the respawn before you've even started up. Have a plan in place of how to break these setups, but as it is, the veterans Jimbo, Kimbo, Snipe Drone and Mose, they take down the Mockit roster and they'll be moving on.
Well, you know me, Richie. I don't like to pinpoint certain players on Carnage reports, but we saw Looney at the start of the game do so well to stay alive with camouflage, and I hate to come back to that play because there's so many different plays that happen in a match of Halo that influence the course of the match. But 9 and 18, yes, he had those 15 assists, but 9 and 18, you can't help but feel maybe the mental game came in after losing camouflage at the start of the match, after losing a pivotal 1-versus-1 to start the game out, it doesn't give you the best platform to build upon. I mean, I suppose you can only go up from there, but a bit of a lackluster performance from him, particularly. Obviously, the rest of the Mockit boys chiming in here and there with kills. Yes, Batchford 12 and 16, but had those 17 assists as well as 8 stronghold captures. So he was chiming in. Back to the it's that firsthand back when in the double down tournament, myself and Jimbo losing to him and Europa Halo Kanan.
To him, no,
but
it was to him. It was to him.
it
And him
was to
alone.
Precision Night. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't to Europa Halo. Cartel last week, it was a great win for them. I'm not convinced though, based on who they played. They seem to have played a pickup team in the grand finals. This week, if they can beat Power, if they can beat any team that is able to beat Power to advance to the grand finals, with a stand-in, that's when we start to consider them as maybe one of the teams to watch and one of the teams to beat of the entire series.
Right, well that'll be us now for our first game as we look to line up then the semi-finals. Of course, we'll be broadcasting the finals as well, but we'll take a short break and we'll be back once we get the players into a lobby.